2.5. We are live.
We're live. Outstanding.
Live from your mother's backyard. It's the country show with Ricefield Records coming to us from. He like it both kinds of music, country and eastern. We got Bobby there spitting the truth. He's spitting the truth because it's easy for him to spit the truth because he lost all his front teeth. Yeah, man, you're Uncle Cousin Dave, and I'm related to you on most sides of your family.
Hey, did you guys hear that they changed the name to Red Man Chewing Tobacco?
They changed it to what?
What?
You remember Red Man Chewing Tobacco, right?
Well, yeah.
It's called America's Best.
Well, look at that. Well, I think that calls for a lick on my steel guitar. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Pancake wants something.
Well, he wants something.
You want something? Ooh. Play us a song.
They're past the climb.
Is that steel or glass? Steel.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, there we go. I ain't got no beer bottle to use on it. That's the classic. Use a beer
You
bottle.
break off a beer bottle. Yep. And
Yeah.
burn it.
Or another one is your. Of course, I got one of them here because ain't no country boy goes out without his pocket knife, right? You gotta go have your pocket knife, and you use your pocket knife as your steel. Yeah.
Since when did we become French? We're French now?
Okay.
Toujours,
Okay. Here. Here. How's that?
Okay.
Where's we got anybody's?
No, we have nobodies because we changed the time on them. We broke the pattern.
Mr. Fail, that's pretty smart. Yeah, you get that the way.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's
Doesn't
YouTube.
matter. They watch the thing afterwards anyhow.
Right. And anyways, like if they're searching around on YouTube and hanging around, if they're subscribed to us or whatever, they'll see that we're live.
If they're
If
they're resubscribed to us, we learned that Rice knows shit about country music. That's all we got to know about country music.
That's really going to become evident in this live stream.
Yeah, I mean, but that's all there is to know about country music anyway. Well,
that's true.
Yeah.
Well, since it's freaking, we're talking country music, I'll show a few records that I grabbed. Some more Chet Atkins. You see this one?
Chet Atkins. That's one ain't got no naked women on the cover. Chet had a lot of them with naked women on the cover.
Yeah, he's got the Country Gentleman right there.
Uh-huh.
Where that one, I believe, the Country Gentleman, they draw the little F's on them that the Greffs usually have instead of, like on this one.
The brand, the G brand or the.
Yeah, because see, like on this one, it's a hollow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's semi-hollow.
Yeah, semi hollow. The Country Gentleman is, I think, hollow too, but it's it doesn't have the holes in it that stuff right there.
Yeah, because he also had he made one with Gibson for a time. He had one with Gibson, or my brother Roy had one.
Yeah.
My brother.
I see it says workshop. Does that mean it's educational?
No, it's just some stuff, some tunes and stuff that he does.
Yeah.
It's the living stereo with the record that contains the revolutionary new anti-static ingredient 3117X, which helps.
Look at this. Look here. Look at my bow tie.
Wait, hold on.
Sorry.
Yes.
Look at
Yes.
my bolo tie.
It's a bolo tie. Yeah.
And look at my boots.
Those are authentic. Those are cowboy boots.
Snakeskin boots, baby. Put them on your feet. Got the good time music with Bo Diddley beat. Well, Hank Williams beat. Let's say that. How about that? The Johnny Cash beat.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. All right, let me go back to Mr. Bobby.
No.
I interrupted there. I forgot.
No, you didn't interrupt it. I mean, it's totally fine. We're just sitting here freaking, shooting the shit. Anyways,
my first name is Curtis. My last name is Interruptus.
Curtis interrupted.
I stole that off of Hill Street Blues. I got another one of these here, by the way, too. Look at this.
Look at that. You look like you could be practicing law in Texas. You know that?
Which one is that one?
If I was in the clink and I needed a lawyer, I'd feel good if you walked in and said,
I'd walk in and I'd say, get my boy out of here. What you holding him for?
Now, you use lap steel guitars a lot, or do you use regular ones for slide too?
I mainly use I have not done lap steel very much, even though I have my ancient lap steel that I put together back in 88 or 89. No, 80s, before 87, 86 or something like that. I put together a lap steel. And no, I just, after David Lindley's death, I got that one out and I thought, I'm going to do some lap. And so I got this the other day, yesterday, in fact, came in the mail.
Nice.
It's a little longer scale length. It's cheap. It's a Recording King. It's not a high-end lap steel. I actually got this one last Sunday, but I got it for $80 at a Guitar Center because it was damaged.
What they make high-end lap steel guitars?
Do they make high-end lap steel guitars? Oh, you can pay a lot of money for a lap steel. There's a Duesenberg has a lap steel out that's like $2,500, I think, $2,400, $2,500.
Wow. Yeah, I guess they really do go in it for.
And then the pedal steels, of course, are crazy money. But the laps, like the Duesenberg lap steel, is they've got, I forget what they call that, Hummingbird maybe, I can't remember, but the Duesenberg has a lap steel. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Who are our good lap steel guitar players now? Who's anybody notable?
Good lap steel now. Ben Harper. Not more in the blues or blues line. Who's that other? Shoot,
I know Ron Wood plays it.
Yeah, some of those folks do. The Randolphs, isn't there a Randolph? There was Sacred Steel. There was and I got some of the CDs, and boy, I blinked on that for a long time. And Ben Harper played with those guys. In country music, I don't know who plays lap steel. Country. They typically are playing a pedal. There's less lap.
Do you use any of like you see these stupid thumb things? Do you use those picks?
I've got a thumb pick on. I've got finger picks too. I just didn't have them on right now.
You know what I was looking at too? I couldn't believe, and I've never seen anybody that I know use them, but they make. Yeah, okay, I've seen those finger picks, but I've seen like there's these little like finger condoms so that you don't hurt your fingers while you play guitar. They make them. I've never seen anybody use them. I can't think of any famous guitarist that has used them, but they make them. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
To protect your fingertips.
When I first started off, I was playing with a thumb pick and just my fingers, and I grew my nails out.
Yeah.
But I'm an extremely anxious person. It killed me to grow my nails out because I bite my nails all the time.
Right, and also I tried the same thing too. But the problem is they always break. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kept polish on them. Some people will put freaking epoxy on their nails, and some people will glue the stuff onto the acrylic nails onto them, and glue the hell out, use the acrylic nails. But some people put epoxy on their nails to strengthen them.
Well, that's what I was told too, because they kept breaking. I was talking to buddies you got to use a clear coat or something like that to strengthen it or whatever.
Yeah, people put basically a poly, which is if it's a 2-part, it'll be an epoxy.
And also another pain in the ass, like thing, like, you know, when you're like playing guitar and stuff like that, when you haven't played in a while, and like you go to play, and if your nails are too long when you're trying to, you know, fret your notes and stuff like that, if your nails are too long, yeah, messes it up.
I bite my nails all the time. I don't have to worry about it. You know, I've got my anxiety is so high, you know, all the time. I'm just such a, you know, I'm so wound up all the time. So it's good that I practice law. That's such a relaxing field. So yeah, I wish we had some, you know, we can talk among ourselves. I've got records, but I was going to talk. I actually had a.
Yeah, I mean, I'll show. I mean, like, I'll also show you guys a few records that I got too. You guys heard of her, Bobby Humphries?
Oh yeah,
Tailor Made. This is an album I don't have of hers, and this is after she left. I think it was actually before. No. Wait, this is after her Blue Note stuff. So this is later 70s where she went with Epic. This has got some like disco stuff. She sings more, and on her stuff, she's normally just on her Blue Note stuff. She played flute, and occasionally she'd sing. This she sings more, and it's a little more poppy. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I just listened to it probably like 2 or 3 times. Yeah. But that one's cool. And this album, okay, do you know how at record stores they have what are called listening sessions? The album's just dropping. You hear it here first before anybody else hears it. So they play the album when it first comes out, and then they give you a copy of the record if you want it or whatever. So I went to one of those things, and I showed up late, so I didn't get to hear the album. And everybody that was there before said, "Oh, you got to get this new record." It's, you guys heard of Lana Del Ray?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now that's got. I just came out, right? And it got a good review. It's supposed to be very different, right?
I saw that today and just did not know whether I'd like it, so I didn't pick it up.
I don't know if I like it yet either. I've listened to it probably once, but you know how sometimes albums grow on you?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. Right now, so far, I'm leaning on
Gotcha.
But I don't know. I may like it. I like her voice, and it's got the cool, like the back of the cover. She's got a little see-through nipples there, right there. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
Well, Lana Del Ray she's a babe. There's no doubt about it.
Yes, she is, and I love.
I've got the one album by her, and I forgot the title of it, Born to Die or something like that.
Yeah, I have Born to Die, and I have Norman Rockwell. Well, it's called Norman fucking Rockwell, but whatever.
Yeah, I've only got Born to Die, and I think that's an outstanding album.
It is.
What kind of music? What does it sound like music-wise? This new one.
She kind of sounds like the ditzy Marilyn Monroe, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's pop. It's pop. It's pop music. It's definitely pop.
But it's sullen, right?
But it's somber. There's a somberness. There's a, you know, she's a little, you know, she's kind of edgy. I mean, it's like the Born to Die thing, you know, and she's kind of, you know, it's sort of edgy, sort of, you know, it is a little emo without being, you know, at all kind of emo, you know?
Yeah. I love that Born to Die record. I mean, I have 2 copies. I have the red vinyl and the black. It's a solid album.
Beautifully recorded, by the way.
Yes.
Just beautifully recorded. Great.
That's the one where she's a redhead out with the sky behind her. Is that Born to Die?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's her biggest selling record.
I think that's yeah.
Yeah, that one and Norman Rockwell are her 2 biggest sellings. But Born to Die came before Norman Rockwell.
I looked over Chemtrails Over the Country Club a couple of times. I've thought about buying that. I really love the title.
Yeah, I like the title too. I just that's one I haven't bought. She comes out with about an album every year, so it's, you know, I don't know. Sometimes when artists do that, you kind of wonder, you know, is she taking time to, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like Nico Case, although Nico Case hasn't had anything out for a while, Nico Case was doing them every 2 years, 2 or 3 years, which seemed more like a more reasonable approach.
Yeah. Like you remember Fiona Apple, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I used to like her, and her last album that she put out, I mean, it got like critically acclaimed. Everyone said it was the best album of the year. They said it was like awesome, and Pitchfork gave it a perfect 10. And it's not my favorite album by her by any means. I
have one or two early ones I bought on.
You have Title and When the Pawn, right?
I think so. I'll bet. You know,
one's red and one's that has her face on the cover and it's like all white.
I know I've got that one. And I think I have the red one. I bought the first one, which with her face on the cover, and I was just knocked out by her. I thought she was just great.
I did too. I loved it.
Great voice, great lyrics.
Yeah.
Then I just kind of lost track of her. I just wasn't. It was one of those funny things. Somebody I liked a bunch and thought, man, this is, she kind of like the future, right?
Right.
Yeah, and then I just kind of lost track of her.
Yeah, I mean, well, she's obviously, if you listen to her music, I mean, she's like the tortured soul type. I mean, she's New York City. She was. I think she was raped in New York City at like 13.
Oh,
so
really?
Yeah. Yep. So she's man-hating lyrics a lot of times, but
go figure.
And I don't know. I know some about men, and I can't disagree with her about that. It's like, men, why are they?
Yeah.
So,
some. I mean, like
I know. It's just like I can get that. It gets a little tiring. It's like another one that was that way for me, and started out as country. By the way, was Brandy Carlisle.
She started out as country before Go-Go's?
Yeah.
Brandy Carlisle? The Go-Go's? No, you're thinking of somebody else.
Brenda Carlisle. You're thinking of Brenda.
Yeah, not Brandy Carlisle. Brandy Carlisle is pretty recent, early 2000s. She started coming out with stuff.
What is she, Brenda's kid?
No, not related at all.
Wow, that name is too damn similar.
Out of the Seattle area, she started out as kind of a country chanteuse, sort of a belter and great pipes and comparisons to Nico Case, who's also out of the Northwest. Yeah. But
well, Nico Case is after in the 90s, you had like Shania Twain, you had Tanya Tucker, who was still going, you had Leanne Rimes, who tried to breach the mainstream. And then towards the late 90s, you had Dixie Chicks and Shania. And then Nico Case, with her band, she kept it going for for 2000 to 2010.
Yeah, she her first three albums were the Virginian. And one I have here for the show and tell is on country is Furnace Room Lullaby, and then even Blacklisted is fairly country.
But she had some stuff she did early with what's the name of that group?
New Pornographers. She's
right.
Yeah, she did stuff with the New Pornographers that wasn't country at all.
No, but that was early, right?
Early 2000s. She kept doing that into 2010 or so.
Right.
Oh, I've got some New Pornographers on CD. I just never warmed up to it, and I mean, great stuff. It just isn't for me.
They have one album that's I consider good, but yeah, you're right. A lot of the stuff isn't as good as her later stuff.
Yeah, I haven't. I had one. I bought one that was highly regarded, and it was just yeah, it's okay. The only thing I really cared for was the Nico Case song on there, and I liked other Nico Case stuff. Maybe a couple of Nico Case pieces. Pieces
but modern country, 2010 after, what do you like?
Nothing by anyone you'll hear on a fucking radio.
Yeah, I am not a country and western fan after. Yeah.
Well, I'll take it back. I hear some Chris Stapleton, and Chris Stapleton, I almost always, when I hear him, I'm like, that's pretty damn good. But I've got some on streaming, and I've listened to on Apple Music, and I've listened to it there. That's pretty good. But and Jason Isbell has some good stuff, but I don't feel like they're terribly consistent, and I just haven't sprung for vinyl by them. Even though, and Jason, they're both really good. And Chris Stapleton is an excellent guitarist, but they're both excellent vocalists too. Chris, and Jason Isbell wrote a great song about depression and all. He's written some really good stuff. I just don't have any on vinyl. And I've got some of his stuff on Apple Music too. My favorite out there right now in country is a woman in a band, Amanda Ann Platt and the Honeycutters. And I don't think they have any vinyl out at all. I've got their stuff on Apple Music. And some of that stuff I think is just as fucking good as anything. Amanda Ann Platt's song, their song, Honeycutters song. They were initially the Honeycutters, and then they became Amanda Ann Platt and the Honeycutters because she's the songwriter and she's the lead vocalist, and everybody was, But their song Jukebox, and I'll put a link on. I'll send a link to you guys.
Okay.
Jukebox is great. It is freaking great country.
But as far as vinyl, like, do you have a lot of country and western vinyl records?
I do not have a bunch of country and western vinyl. I don't.
You got some Hank Sr. though, right?
There is only Hank Sr. There is no other Hank.
Oh, I got to break up my Bocephus records to piss you off.
Uh-oh.
There is no Hank Jr. There is only Zool.
Oh, country boy can survive. Come on.
Here's my show and tell.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, what you have to have. You have to have Hank Williams. If you're going to listen to country at all, you got to have Hank Williams. That is the way Hank done it. And this is a great one, 40 Greatest Hits. And I've had this for years, and it still sounds good.
Yeah, you got them all. That's perfect.
Yeah, this is a biggie. So this is a good one. 40, and this really has, it's the best. I also have by Hank. This is a good one. This is a fun one, Live at the Grand Ole Opry. Hank was a bad alcoholic, and possibly for perfectly legitimate reasons. Bad alcoholic, but he could perform like hell when he did.
Yeah,
these are great performances. So these two, I think, are one Hank. Get your Hank.
Yeah,
straight.
take drink a lot and take a little bit of Reds.
Yeah, and I think that and I really think that if you're interested in American music of the 20th century, if you're not familiar with Hank Williams, you're missing something. He was the great hillbilly poet. Another person I think is an absolute necessity is Patsy Cline.
Is that a modern pressing or is that the Analog Productions one?
No, this is a modern pressing. It's a Decca reissue, but it is Decca, and it sounds pretty good. I can't remember if this is a colored one or not. I don't believe so. No, this is black one, but it is a Decca. It is Decca, and Decca's typically good stuff. But
yeah, I saw that when they reissued it. I thought about grabbing it to see how it sounded to my original one.
Yeah, this is a reissue, and it sounds very good, and I like it very much. Most of the Patsy stuff I have is either on CD or on Apple. But this one is, she was really one of the masters of phrasing. There's no doubt about it. In addition to that great freaking voice, she sounded like she was there. So I think, Patsy Cline, there's the old joke, how many women country artists does it take to cover a Patsy Cline song? And the answer is apparently all of them.
Yeah.
Because they're all everybody wants to do I think she is recognized above Tammy Wynette, above Loretta Lynn, way above Dolly Parton, who's, everybody loves Dolly Parton for good reason. But Patsy Cline is the great man. Hank Williams and Pat, on the men, and Patsy Cline among the women musicians, they are the very peaks. There's no doubt about that. Some people I think again, if you're interested in country in American music, I think you ought to have some Carter family, which includes to me I think arguably the most influential guitarist in American music and possibly in the world was Mother Maybelle Carter. Mother Maybelle, with her bass bass melody and picking and chords with her fingers, playing the melody and the bass and chords. She influenced Merle Travis. Bobby, whom did this is a test for you. This is a quizzy.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a great pressing. This we've got. Hey, Dusty. Anyway, she influenced Merle Travis, who influenced who? Bobby. Who did Merle?
Oh, wait. Who entered Merle Travis? You're talking who entered Chet Atkins.
Merle Travis influenced Chet Atkins like crazy, and Chet Atkins influenced just a ton of people. So I and she changed. I mean, Mother Maybelle on guitar just made country music. You know, I mean that was, and she was the force in country music.
So I gotta get that now. Because, okay, well, that's a new pressing, right?
No, I've had this a long time. I can't remember when this came out.
What year is that?
I can't see. I've had this.
You know what? Hit me later up on Facebook and tell me about that pressing, because I got to buy that.
Yeah, this is, Lonesome Valley, Poor Orphan Child, Bury Me Under the Weeping Willow. And, I was born on a farm. My mother was born in the Missouri Ozarks in 1920. She grew up, this was her soundtrack. And this was her, Dusty, I don't know. I've had this a long time. This is from America. This is an American epic pressing.
Is this 1940s?
They were coming out in the 20s and into the 30s.
Okay.
So I can't remember the first, and I should have looked it up, first year that they were recording 25, 27, something like that. So they were among the first. A.P. Carter here. A.P. Was very important. He took a lot of music. He took a lot of Appalachian music and recorded it. And Dusty, I don't know if it's on Third Man or not. I really don't know. As I said, this is an American epic press. But
is that an 80s pressing or earlier? Or later?
I can't remember when I got it. I've had it for years and years. I can't remember. It was, I knew the Carter family from my mother, who sang Carter family songs when I was.
All right, I'll look it up, because I mean that I need to get that damn record.
This is a good pressing. It's very, very good, sturdy pressing. Very, it is this American epic pressing from whenever I got it is good.
And it's the best of the Carter family.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'd say it probably is the best. I mean, there may be some other songs out there, but they've got Worried Man Blues and Keep on the Sunny Side, Wildwood Flower. In Wildwood Flower, I mean, my God, Mother Maybelle's Picking on Wildwood Flower influenced every damn country musician after that. So that's a really important one. Another one, I think again, if you're interested in American music. And why can't I get this out of the sleeve? If you're really interested in American music, you got to have some Jimmy Rogers. The legendary Jimmy Rogers, the singing brakeman. You got to have Jimmy Rogers, who was about contemporary with Carter family, late 20s into the 30s. I think he died in 35. This may have it on here. 33. He died in 1933 of tuberculosis. There is also, let me note, there is also a great biography of Jimmy Rogers out by Nolan Porterfield. Nolan Porterfield has a great biography of Jimmy Rogers. Nolan Porterfield, I took a couple of classes, 2 or 3 classes from Nolan Porterfield when I was in college. He was a professor where I did my bachelor's degree, and he wrote the what I think is still the definitive. I'm not sure there's even been a later Jimmy Rogers biography. And I bought the biography later. He was working on it when I was an undergrad, and I later saw that it had been published, and I bought a copy of it, and I read it, and at the end I was crying. It is a great biography. Jimmy
Where
Rogers.
did he grow up? Where did these guys grow up?
Jimmy
This is
Rogers
Southeast?
was out of Mississippi. The Carter family was Appalachian. I can't, maybe Virginia, Carolinas. I can't remember. Jimmy Rogers was out of Mississippi. You know, Mule Skinner Blues. You know, good morning, Captain. Hey, good morning, Shine. You know, do you need a Mule Skinner on your new mud line? T for Texas, T for Texas, T for Tennessee. Waiting for a train. You know, I mean, there are a bunch of great songs on here. And
hey, Dan, that Carter family pressing you have, is it colored vinyl or is it just black?
it's just black. It's from like the 70s or 80s. I think it's from the 80s.
Okay.
I bought it. I must have bought it in the 80s. So I think those are, you know, and then I don't have any on vinyl, but another person I consider essential is Bill Monroe. And Jimmy Rogers influenced even Howlin' Wolf. Howlin' Wolf.
Right.
Yeah, Howlin' Wolf wanted to yodel like Jimmy Rogers, and he couldn't yodel. And Jimmy Rogers was famous for his yodel. Yodel-ee. I can't do it. Yodel-ee. But Jimmy Rogers was famous for his yodeling. Howlin' Wolf wanted to yodel like Jimmy Rogers, and he couldn't. So he developed his howl. So that's how he became Howlin' Wolf. I think for country music, I think although it's bluegrass, but Bill Monroe with the Bluegrass Boys. I don't have any on vinyl, but Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys, especially.
I guess the game's on.
Anyway, Bill Monroe is essential. Then this is the soundtrack from my youth.
Yeah. Oh, hold on.
Oh, what Ray Charles in country and western music.
Modern sound.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, modern sounds in country and western.
Okay.
This one has two songs that were just all over the radio back then. Born to Lose and I Can't Stop Loving You, which he just, you know, those were, you know.
I've always passed that and I've never grabbed it because I didn't. It's good.
Oh, it's freaking great.
I Can't Stop Loving You. Is that a country song?
What's that? I Can't
I
Stop.
Can't Stop Loving You. Is that a country song?
Oh yeah, originally by Don Gibson.
Okay.
Yeah, originally by Don Gibson. It's a country song. Good old country weeper. And Ray Charles, though, you know, and God, my mother loved Ray Charles like crazy. And we had a Ray Charles. We had this when I was a kid. This sold like crazy in about 62 and 63. Sold like freaking crazy. I think this was his biggest selling album.
All right, I got to get it then now because
all covers, right?
Yeah, they're all covers.
Oh, of course, but I mean,
well, just curious.
Yeah. Hank Williams, he covers half things that are known or connected with Hank, like Half as Much, which Hank didn't write. Worried Mind. And now that Worried Mind he's got by a Buddy Guy when it's different. Are You In Again by Hank and Hey Good Looking by Hank. But this is a great album. I just love that album. And really, you know, and I think that was part of, although it was moving that way already, but it was part of the impetus. I mean, he came in with these sophisticated arrangements and was playing country western in a way and tore up the freaking charts.
Yeah.
Tore up the charts with that. And, you know, I think that was part of the, you know, that and the countrypolitan sound of Chet Atkins, which you hear on Patsy Cline. But the countrypolitan sound of Chet Atkins, you know, that led to the backlash that led to the outlaw stuff. And, you know.
Countrypolitan, what's that?
It's country music, but with a metropolitan sound. Chet Atkins tried to modernize country music.
So it's the production, but also the vocalists were encouraged to sing with less twang. Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And then the backlash led to more twang and everything, and you get people now who are just entirely, as far as I'm concerned, entirely fake, sounding like people I grew up with, except worse. And people don't talk much that way anymore. I can talk. If I hang out with my friends down in Missouri, I can start talking like that, kind of natural like. But people don't talk like that. And yeah, Rachel, this is not as good, but it's got it's still got some good stuff on it. Got some Hank cover. Yeah. I don't think it's as good as Volume 1. Didn't sell nearly as well. Okay, I'm gonna now a few different ones, and this one you're never gonna freaking find anywhere.
Okay, let's see. Michael Parks, the actor.
The actor, Michael Parks, Closing the Gap.
So he was a singer before he became an actor?
No.
Reverse.
What's this from? This is a test. What's this from? TV show. Famous TV show. Then came Bronson. He got his break playing Then Bronson on a short-lived TV series called Then Came Bronson, where he rode around on a Harley Sportster, and he would ride into some town, take care of some problem. There would be some beautiful woman who'd fall in love with him, and at the end he'd say, "Sweetheart, I got to go," then he'd go.
He was like Jan Michael Vincent. I put him in the same category.
Yeah, but this is a very sparely done. Oklahoma Hills, Pretty Piece of Paper, San Antonio Rose, Soldier's Last Letter. If you know anything about country music, Soldier's Last Letter is one of those weepers. Wayfaring Stranger, Riding Cowboy. He does a beautiful Softly and Tenderly. The great, I forget who did it. The great hymn, Softly and Tenderly. Tie Me to Your Apron Strings Again. The best is Little Buckaroo on here, which he performs. You see this picture here?
Yeah.
That's his mother. And they perform Little Buckaroo almost a cappella. And she's not a trained vocalist. And it's utterly charming and delightful. This is such a tremendously underrated album.
What's the name of it?
Closing the Gap by Michael Parks. But, never reissued. You can find it, I think, on streaming. But, yeah, we had it when I was a kid. I loved it, and I finally found one that it was new when I got it. It had been cut out, but nobody had ever listened to it.
Oh.
That's a great one. Other stuff that is the Western swing.
I found a copy here, 2,000 yen.
Yeah.
Yeah. They buy everything.
Cody and Lost Planet Airman, which has got one of the best covers ever on it.
That is an awesome cover.
Yeah.
Was that from the 70s?
Yeah, I think so. 79, something like that. I can't remember when it came out.
So if I show Dan Hicks and his Hot Licks, that's kind of country too, isn't it?
Yeah, 75. This is from 75.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great Western swing album. So
they were very hot for a while.
Yeah, they were. Okay, one of the maybe the second greatest female country vocalist
We're
was Linda Ronstadt. She did. Silver Threads and Golden Needles, Desperado, Love Is a Rose, That'll Be the Day.
Yeah, she covered Buddy Holly's. Yeah, she loved Buddy Holly. She covered a lot of his songs.
Yeah, but she had a real country. She did a lot of this really country style. And she, this is. I just grabbed this one. It was.
Poor pitiful me.
Yeah, yeah, she did, and just I think after Patsy Cline, and maybe as good as Patsy Cline, I'm not quite sure, but she is a great country vocalist, and not well enough regarded there.
No, she's not, but she should be. She's phenomenal. Every record that I have by her, I like. I even freaking like Silk Purse.
She was as a vocalist just the complete thing. Mm-hmm. I mentioned this earlier. Case and her boyfriend's Furnish Room Lullaby with that very, weird looking cover.
Yeah.
And this, where it looks like she's sitting on somebody's body and got their wallet. This is one of those albums. This is a perfect album too. This is a great album.
Okay.
And I just feel like one of the best out there. And just fabulous songs on here. One of my favorite country albums of all time.
That doesn't that counts as country?
This is country. There's no doubt about it. This is country. This is very much a country album. It's got, goddamn Norman Blake and Charlie Daniels on guitar on this. Charlie Daniels is on guitar along with Norman Blake, another famous, country guitarist.
Yep. Is what's it called? Lay Lady Lay on that one?
Lay Lady Lay is on this one, but and Lay Lady Lay is probably more pop, but it's really, it could qualify as country policy.
Yeah, that is a country song. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, but songs like "To Be Alone with You," Peggy Day, "Country Pie," "Tonight I'll Be Staying Here with You," those are, in addition, they're just great songs. This is, I think, really underrated. It usually gets, in Dylan's albums, he gets rated really low.
Any covers on that, or did he write everything?
He wrote everything on here, yeah. And the girl from the North Country, it starts off with "Girl from the North Country" in a duet with Johnny Cash, who loved Dylan, and vice versa. And and the girl from the North Country on here, I think, is the best version ever on this. And that's a great song, and they do it in a great way. And Bob Dylan's voice, he's going toe-to-toe with Johnny Cash. And people don't get it.
I have to pick it up. I definitely will pick that up.
I have that. That's a great record.
This is great. Mine had gone missing somewhere. I got this one recently. It is on.
That's a reissue.
It's a reissue.
White vinyl.
On white vinyl. And I thought, okay, I'm going to put this on. I'm going to drop the needle on it. And I'm going to be disappointed because it's going to sound like hell. And I dropped the needle on it, and I thought my, for the first second or two, I thought my receiver must be off because it was dead quiet, and then the music came on.
Wow.
This has some of the cleanest vinyl I've ever encountered. It's up with Tone Poet Bible in terms of the cleanness of the vinyl.
They're pressing good records now, and some places are pressing wonderful, depending on the artist where it is. Yeah.
I don't know who did the pressing on this. It's a Columbia reissue. But they did a heck of a job on this, and also I have that recent Fragments, the Time Out of Mind that I showed you a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
that vinyl, that is beautiful too. That album, that just sounds good.
Yeah, they also just reissued Herbie Hancock's Imperial Isle on the Classic Series, the Blue Note Classic Series. That just dropped. Yeah, I got a copy coming.
Yeah, but yeah, and I didn't bring in. I've got they're all in the garage because I kept them in the car and I haven't brought them in. Junior Brown is. I have a bunch of Junior Brown. I think, in fact, all Junior Brown on CD. Junior Brown is considered one of the greatest guitarists, and I think so. And fun stuff. I don't have any vinyl by Junior, and I don't know that there is any vinyl by Junior. But Junior Brown is somebody, he's a great vocalist. He's a great, great guitarist, and he writes funny, smart lyrics. It's you laugh. I'm gonna have to get my gift fiddle out here again. We're gonna have to, yeah. Okay. So we got it. I also have new albums, but I don't know. I bought some stuff today. But Uncle Rice.
Let's see your country records.
Well, can you say pathetic?
Let's get them.
Pathetique.
Pathetique. All right. Mother Earth. It's got a countryside. See? Countryside. Okay?
All right.
Countryside. So put it with a Sundown chat. I do have this. I've shown this probably a dozen times. There he is, Norman Blake. You mentioned him earlier.
Yeah.
Mentioned him earlier.
That's an
country.
album everybody talks about that record, and I haven't got it. Is it good?
It's very good. It's very good. He does Spanish guitar. He does Tears of Rage by Richard Manuel and Bob Dylan. This was produced by Jesse Ed Davis. And it is a beautiful recording. When I asked the question of people out there as of what is a well-recorded record,
Yeah.
this record came up in conversation. People would say, this is a fantastic recorded record.
Intervention
right.
Intervention Records did a reissue of that, an audiophile reissue.
This is a Japanese pressing.
There you go.
There we go. That's on A&M.
Yeah, Japanese
And,
pressing are wonderful.
And I'm sorry, but this is a country record.
Well,
I
yeah.
hear some scoffing, but it's a country record. And so
Yeah.
is this. So is this. Dan Hicks and his hot. Please, can I have some quiet, please? Can I please have some quiet while I'm doing my shitty presentation here? Country record, okay? Now, and the last one I have, and I've shown this a dozen times, is Graham Parsons.
You know,
And that, my friends,
I've got this. I've got the
Yeah.
Flying Burrito Brothers' Sweetheart of the Rodeo. I forgot to bring it.
country. That, my friends, concludes my entire wing of the Ricefield Records country collection, and I thank you very much.
Country.
Outstanding. I should have brought out my freaking my Dwight Yoakam guitars and Cadillacs.
I looked for that today, but I didn't get to. I didn't get to a regular. I got to a half price book. So I'm gonna pick up. I've got it on CD. That is one of the few relatively recent country albums that sold anything that I think is great. That's a great album.
What,
And,
guitars and Cadillacs?
yeah.
I love it. I mean, I have that one. I mean, I got a bunch of records by Delbert McClinton too. Is he country?
Delbert McClinton. I think of Delbert McClinton as being one of the people at the intersection of rock and country.
You know,
Yeah.
I got to share this. You see this? I believe I have a friend in Stockholm who's up to a little bit of mischief today, and he's got very long hair with a French accent. Let us welcome Mr. Stunty to our live stream.
Is he coming up?
No.
Well, why not? If he wants to, let him. I haven't seen him in a while. You know what I mean?
Let's see if he wants to come up.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I guess somebody else in here. These are Stockholm. There's Stockholm over in Wisconsin. Is that where?
I got Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
Let's see. Put the bait out there. There it is. There's your link.
Yeah. Go ahead and click.
There's your link.
It looks like anybody can take that link. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like country
Yes.
music is it's like kind of weird because what is country music and what is not? Like some would consider even like early Buddy Holly like country music and stuff. I mean, is Eddie Cochran country? Some of his stuff is, but some of it's considered rockabilly, which by the way has had like a bit of a revival sort of. I know that there's a lot of people that are in it, but then it like died down or something like in the mid 2000s.
It was like a 90s thing, really, that 90s and survived into the 2000s some. But Brian Setzer did some rockabilly stuff, and he, the Stray Cats, he was doing some rockabilly stuff. So
No, I'm talking about like in 2010s, there was a few, bands and stuff and like guitarists that tried to like bring it back or whatever, but it didn't last long.
I mean, it's been burbling along and coming back up. If you read, like Vintage Guitar and Guitar Player, I mean, there are always, rockabilly people getting mentioned in there because it's a great guitar genre.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously read that stuff, you know what I mean? Because it's, it's makes sense to me because I want to learn about all the different things and stuff. What do you think of roller string trees? Do you think they're bullshit?
I don't know.
No, roller string trees. Okay, you know what a string tree is on your guitar, right?
Oh, roller string trees.
Yeah.
I thought you said string cheese.
I did
No.
too. Roller string trees. You shouldn't need it.
Right.
The only, I guess it might be good for whammy bar stuff.
Yeah, to keep your stuff so that you don't like keep it in tune and stuff. Like they have those. They also have roller saddles too.
Roller saddles. I do kind of understand, and I've got some roller saddles on a couple of things with Bigsby's, and I like them on the Bigsby's. The roller saddles are kind of nice because they, I think, add a little bit of mass. I query intonation with them because you will necessarily not have a knife point intonation when you have a roller saddle.
Right, and that's good because sometimes there's a burr on your saddle and you'll snap your strings on it.
Oh man, I mean the pot metal saddles out of a lot of the Eastern, a lot of the Asian guitars have been just a huge pain. You got brass saddle. Brass won't cut that.
No, I mean another thing that since you just brought up Japanese guitars and stuff. The secret is out about a lot of those things. Because remember in the 80s and 90s where you could pick up those things at pawn shops for dirt cheap? Now they're all $700 to $1,000 guitars.
You go in and you find stuff. I remember buying a Hondo 2 at one point, a Les Paul copy Hondo 2. It was double cutaway Les Paul copy Hondo 2. Bought it for $50.
Right.
Sounded freaking great, played great. And I was an idiot for selling it. But I sold it to buy. I bought an Epiphone Les Paul copy with the flamed burst top, and I sold the Hondo 2. And now though you go out, if you find one of those Hondo 2s from that era, it's at least $400, $500. Here's one thing, and I don't know whether there's, and I'm not sure it's still there. I bought long ago. From J.C. Penney. I bought a Harmony, Flying V copy with a bolt neck, white. It was the '67 body, white body, humbuckers. And it had a Strat style whammy bar on it, which was terrible. I just blocked it.
Hardtail.
Yeah, I turned it into a hardtail. Yeah. It was but it sounded great. I put a brass nut on it, and the nut was bad. I put a brass nut on it, played slide on it, and it was great. And I sold it. And now if I find one, it's like $500.
Yeah. Do you remember Greco guitars?
Oh yeah,
they were Japanese, same things. Japanese, copies. They made a lot of great stuff.
Teiscos have gone way up.
Teisco Del Rey's, yeah. Oh, that's another one that have gone up. It's ridiculous. Teisco Del Rey's, freaking Harmony guitars, which used to be basic,
Harmony Rockets, like the Harmony Rocket used to be able to buy those for like $7,500, and they're like $700 now.
Yeah, a lot of those old Harmony guitars, a lot of the blues guys played those. Those were dirt cheap. A lot of the,
Yeah, and that's why they played them. Those can sound good. You almost always have to refret them, and the frets are terrible on those. and you know, they really need new tuning machines. If they're going to be players, you need new frets, new tuning machines, and you likely need a new bridge. Almost certainly need a new bridge.
Oh, a lot of this stuff, but I mean, there were a lot of great Japanese. You know, I'm trying to think of the manufacturers that are there. The names of it. Fujigen, I think, is one of the plants, right?
No.
Yeah.
Court stuff is very good. I have a Flying V that was manufactured, sold under the Arbor name, but it was a Court manufactured guitar, and it is freaking great. I bought it used and didn't spend anything for it. You know, $120 or something like that.
Yeah, Samic's another one that builds guitars too.
Samick, I think, isn't there a plant in South Korea now though?
Yeah, it is in Korea, but they used to make good stuff in the 80s.
Samick makes a ton of stuff, including a ton of Gibson and Fender stuff, especially Gibson. Samick's made a ton of stuff, and Samick guitars, you know, I mean, here's the deal. A lot of that stuff. I mean, you know, and I've got nephews in a band, and they are freaking pissed at Fender.
Fender owns everything.
Fender owns everything, and they're cost-cutting mofos, and stuff that comes from them is often. You know, like my nephew Chris believes firmly that you're better off with a Squier than a Fender.
Oh, I agree the same thing. That's why I have a bunch of Squiers and I mod them up.
Yeah.
Why not? But why not freaking even this one that I just bought? This is a Squier, the Classic 5 series. Have you familiar with those? You can find those in the used market for basically $200 shipped. You can and they don't even really need to be modded out. I mean, if you want to, yeah, you're probably going to have to give it a setup when you first get it, but they play good. The pickups on it are solid.
Everybody says that the Fenders, you know, I never pick up a Fender to buy, but everybody says every Fender you get needs modding, or it needs it's got not modding, but it needs to have setup. And you know, I've got a number of the Fender Squiers, and the Fender Squier pickups sound great right out of the damn box. Fender Squier pickups.
Yes.
Right. And you know, you can get a different sound, but you can get a great sound out of those Squier pickups.
I buy freaking Squiers all day at $60 to $75. I will freaking buy them all day. You know what I mean?
They are just great little machines, and you know, you may have to, but you know, the ones I bought, I bought one of the Squier Supersonics, which is the little 24-inch reverse body.
I'm laughing because you and I are so freaking into, like, we're always looking out for cheap shit and just buying all stuff.
Well, you know, but man, that son of a bitch is a player, and it sounds freaking awesome. And it is, I looked it over at the store. Yeah, I bought that 2 years ago in Rapid City, South Dakota. I was there, and I was taking a long road trip, and I stopped in, and just one day I'd been out doing some photography and stuff, and stopped at a guitar store and just bopping around. And I was like, I didn't need it, but they had that Supersonic, and I sat down and started playing, and I was like, I cannot not buy this.
Right.
So damn good. And, you know, I said, what did you guys do for, you know, fret leveling and, you know, fret ends? And they said, on the Squiers, we don't have to do anything. And this is, and it was just great. It's good, you know. And I also looked at there's a new Harmony out. There are new Harmony guitars out. Have you looked at any of those?
Yeah.
Like $1,200. So I was like, there was a beautiful one. I sat down and played it at $1,200. I was like, hell, this ain't no better than this, you know, Squier.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure it was as good. It certainly was not as much fun to play.
No. And also
Squier, I was just like, this is a freaking blast. It is just a blast to play. Beautiful.
Yeah, some of those Harley Bentons too are freaking phenomenal to play, and they're dirt cheap. You know what I mean? Why would you pay, you know what I mean, all that money? Have you seen what they want for the new Danica Electros guitars?
Oh, the Dan Electro guitars, yeah. And here's my story. Long ago, I stopped in a junk store in East Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and they had a Dan Electro amp with a 6-inch speaker, tube amp with a 6-inch speaker, and the guy sold to me for $2 because somebody cut the cord off the back, and the fuse was gone out of it. I spent $4 buying a new cord and a fuse.
Right.
I put a new cord on, I put the fuse in, and that was the best sounding goddamn amp I have ever had, and I got rid of it, and I traded it for a Sears Twin 12, Sears Silvertone Twin 12, Tubes Twin 12, which is beautiful. My brother still has that. But that Dan Electro, so I love the Dan Electros. But yeah, the new Dan Electro guitars are like $1,200-$1,500, ain't they?
Right. Yeah, it's absolutely bananas that all these new guitar companies are coming off. They're all made like in similar places too, and it's just the money that they're asking for them is just ridiculous. And like,
and this little lap steel, $250, and this is a great goddamn lap steel. I'll tell you, there's nothing wrong with it at all.
No, and like you said, Fender is almost pretty damn close to a fucking monopoly. You know what I mean? Because they own everything. They will not let anybody else use their fucking headstock either. You know what I mean? Because of the lawsuits. I mean, they own too damn much.
Yeah, Fender, and although they lost on the body, they can't enforce that.
No.
But and they kind of need to enforce something though, because damn it, their quality is questionable these days. From everything I read and everything I see, is that you get stuff from them, and the quality from Fender, the Fender, American made Fender, you're better off buying a Squire made in China or Indonesia.
Well, see, that's the problem too, and that's why do you remember during the 80s and 90s where they did the Fender Japan and stuff like that? They got in trouble because the Japanese Strat copies played fucking better than the freaking Fenders. So yeah, like
I did have for a time a Fender made in Mexico.
Yeah, MIMs, yeah.
An MIM Strat that I got dirt cheap. I bought it at a Best Buy. Best Buy had guitars for a time, and I bought it at a Best Buy. They were basically getting rid of everything, and that guitar had been hanging on the wall forever. I kept looking at it, and I finally went in and I got it for like $300 or something.
Yeah,
it was nothing. And it was a very good guitar, but I never warmed up to it. And I sold it, and when I started buying the Squires, I was like, I like this better than my made in Mexico, which I never found a problem with that one. It just didn't, nothing.
That's special. The thing. Like, yeah, you buy Fenders like the Player Series or whatever. I bought what's it called? A couple years ago, I bought the Ventura series or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, they're like throwbacks.
Because I just started feeling like, why would I buy this? I sit down and play it at a guitar store, and I'd say, well, I walk over and play a Squire, and it plays just as well.
Well, right, and on this Fender Ventura series that I had, one, the frets were freaking sharp on them. The nut was cut fucking too low. I had to replace the nut. You know what I mean? It's just like, this is supposed to be a Fender American guitar. You know what I mean? And they're just like
stuff. Yeah,
the Player Series. Yeah,
Chinese stuff was getting bad rap for a while, but I've got two Xavier. Do you have any Xavier guitars?
Those are the Guitar Fetish ones.
I got two of those that were just, got them, and the strings were terrible.
Yeah.
I had to replace the strings immediately. But I got the first one I got, which is like I forget what it's called, what the what Fender it is. What Gibson it is. It's a Gibson. It's a semi-hollow. It's like a 335 body with P90s and a trapeze tailpiece.
Yeah.
And man, I plugged it in, and it was like, I just started laughing. It sounded so good. I called up one of my buddies and said, you got to listen to this. You got to listen to this over the phone. And it was just like complete. It was P90, a great P90 sound, And then I bought another that has, it's a hollow. Excuse me. It's a thin hollow, so it feeds back like crazy. But it's one I just like to sit and play.
Yeah, I'm thinking about throwing lipsticks on my. So.
Yeah. So I don't know. And Gibson is, the real Gibson stuff is really high priced, and I just can't believe that it's worth what they want for it.
All right, you guys want to call it?
I think so.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of questions there. I think we killed
That's
them.
all right. I think it's because of the time change.
Yeah.
But what do you want to? I'm going to be in next week. I'm going to Tokyo.
Traveling to Tokyo in April. Okay.
Yep. But I can do it.
Do it live from Tokyo?
Live from Tokyo.
I'll do it from my hotel.
Yeah. All right.
But you want to do this time, or you want to go back to
this time's fine.
Dan?
Dan, what are you good with, this time or later?
Either one's fine by me.
Okay.
What works for you, Bobby?
I'm good with earlier.
Okay. It's your preference?
Yes.
Okay. Because you know who I am, right?
Yeah.
I am the personal assistant. CEO. Spittin Bobby, CEO. But I'm happy to accommodate. Yeah. I'm happy to accommodate. It's fine with me. Okay. People will just follow us.
Yeah.
I think it's better. Hey, looks like we even got a European.
We do.
All right, guys.
All right.
I need Dan. Can you please do the closing prayer?
Yeah. Well. Mes enfants, we're going to say to you what we say because down in Paris, there's a Paris, Missouri, too, as well as a Paris, Texas. So in Paris, Missouri, naturally, on parle français, n'est-ce pas? Oui. On parle français, right? So we're going to say to y'all right now, children, mes enfants, nous disons à vous, au revoir. Et aussi nos enfants. À bientôt in broadcast. There we go.